Hey guys, so now that iOS 26.2 has been out for nearly 2 weeks, we've had more time to test the software and you guys have provided a lot of feedback in regards to iOS 26.2. Today I want to talk about battery life, performance, any bugs and issues that continue to be reported, and in today's video I also want to talk about the possibility of a small software update, iOS 26.2.1, to address some of these issues. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So there's 3 things I want to talk about that continue to be reported within the latest iOS 26.2. And the first thing I want to talk about is Wi-Fi connections and reliability issues on the latest iOS 26.2. Now, I've been testing Wi-Fi as I travel throughout the holidays here in the United States, and I've noticed that sometimes the reliability of the connection is not so solid, and sometimes when I leave, let's say, my hotel room and come back, Wi-Fi does not connect right back to that Wi-Fi network that I previously connected to. Even in my studio, I've noticed before I went for the holiday break that sometimes Wi-Fi wasn't reconnecting automatically when I returned to the studio. So again, if you're having Wi-Fi connection issues or reliability issues overall with Wi-Fi, let me know in those comments down below, because many users continue to report this and I've experienced this issue myself. Now, something else that I've noticed, or something else that I've noticed many users continue to report, is Face ID issues, Face ID lag, and sometimes not recognizing users' face to unlock their devices. So if you go to unlock your device, Face ID would just get stuck on the lock screen. Now, I haven't had this issue myself, but if you're having this issue and Apple is to address this soon, there's one thing I recommend you do in order to temporarily sort of fix this. You want to go into settings on your iPhone, you want to head on over into Face ID and passcodes, enter your passcode, and if you do not have set up an alternate appearance just yet, right here, make sure you set it up. This will give Face ID more data points, and perhaps this will address your Face ID issues temporarily, perhaps until Apple releases a new software update that could alleviate some of these issues. I see a lot of reports of Face ID issues on the latest iOS 26.2. Now, something else that I continue to hear about is battery drain issues. Now, I hear both sides of the story. Some users have great battery life, and some users are having terrible battery life. I have to say, with the latest iOS 26.2, I have excellent battery life on this iPhone 17 Pro Max, but this is always going to come down on how you use your device, and obviously sometimes it depends if your apps are up to date or how you're using your device in a particular time of the year and things of that nature. But overall, I hear 50% of you guys are saying you're having great battery life, and the other 50% are saying the battery life is just horrible on the latest iOS 26.2. Now, fortunately, I'm on the good side of that, so battery life for me has always been above 8 hours of on-screen time. I'm a heavy user. I watch a lot of YouTube videos and things like that, but again, not everyone's experience will be the same. If you're having battery drain issues, especially throughout the holidays and you're traveling, make sure you go under the battery section, go under power mode, and make sure you enable that adaptive power mode in order to extend that battery life until perhaps Apple will address the issue of battery drain, especially on older devices. Now, speaking of addressing issues, I think Apple could release another small software update, iOS 26.2.1, before their major release, iOS 26.3, which is currently in beta. Now, keep in mind that last year with iOS 18.2, right after the holiday break, on January 6th, 2025, Apple released iOS 18.2.1. So if history was to repeat itself right after the holiday break, perhaps on January 5th or 6th, 2026 here, in a little over a week, Apple could release iOS 26.2.1 to address some of these issues. Now, this is not confirmed information, but if Apple was to release this minor software update, I would expect it on the 5th or 6th of January. So we still have about another week or so before we see Apple come back from a break. Keep in mind, again, holiday break here happening in the US for the next week to come here. The next week, on the week of the 5th of January, that is when Apple comes back, and we could see that software release before their major software, which is going to be iOS 26.3. But again, guys, let me know in those comments down below. Are you having any Wi-Fi issues, Face ID issues, battery drain, or any other issues within the latest iOS 26.2? Thank you for watching this quick update, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.